At the start of my gym journey, I was not progressing how I had imagined to, and my progress was definitely not aligning with the amount of effort I was putting in and with the amount of time I was spending at the gym. Within 7 months of training, I then went on the bench press for the first time, and I could only put up 40, 45 kilos. Now, just consider how I have friends who have never been to the gym who can do more than that. And I was going for 7 months when I was starting, and I just wasn't making the progress I wanted to. When I came to this one realization that I'm going to share with you guys in today's video, my progress absolutely skyrocketed. And over the last half a decade of being in a gym, this has allowed me to gain just over 60 pounds, bench 315 pounds at 18 years old, completely transform my physique where I take my top off on the beach and I feel absolutely incredible with myself personally. And it's just allowed me to completely change my life, genuinely. And it all comes down to this one thing in the gym, okay? Obviously, you've got other aspects in terms of diet, recovery, and there's so many different little loopholes that we can go down. But this one simple thing is what 99% of beginners miss, and it's what I missed. Earlier you realize this, the more progress you're going to make and the more of your potential you're going to max out, okay? And the reason why I wasn't progressing was because I was not prioritizing a little something called technique in the gym. Technique and form, or whatever you want to call it, just refers to how you correctly execute a repetition on an exercise. Now, this is the single most important driver in the gym for muscle growth. Obviously, you have how hard you train, progressive overload, increasing the weight over time. Those things won't work if you don't perform the exercise technique very well. Okay? Exercise technique is how you connect with the muscle, it's how you stimulate it, it's how you fatigue it, it's how you break down the muscle fibers so over time they grow back and they adapt bigger, stronger, and better. Okay, for the first while of my gym journey, I was not prioritizing technique. I was trying to lift the heaviest weights possible, and I honestly looked like an absolute dork. Because what happens when you try and lift the heaviest weights possible and you sacrifice technique is not only obviously does your form look bad, but also you bring in other parts of your body, whether that's your muscles or even joints, to compensate for that. And this can also lead to long term injuries. So, genuinely, there is zero benefit to choosing weight and ego and sacrificing your technique by any means in the gym. Technique is absolute king. And just to put into perspective how important technique is for muscle growth, and a personal case study for me, in my situation, there was a time where I was full stacking the lat pull down stack in my gym. I was using the heaviest weight you possibly could. Now, 2, even 3 years later now, really, it's got to a point where it's almost 3 years later, I am still lifting less than I used to. 3 years ago, I'm lifting probably around 15 kilos less. The full stack at my gym was 70 kilos, and they got a bigger stack. But now I lift 50 with 55 kilos, so 15 kilos less over 3 years. And on paper, people will probably say that's awful progress. And if I showed you these two pictures, you would probably say that the bigger version is lifting with the 70 kilos and the smaller version is lifting with the 55. But you're completely wrong. It's because I've dropped the weight and I've focused on the technique. I pause, I squeeze the muscle, I am the muscle, I become the back, I become the lats during the pull down. And I'm focusing on nothing but my back, and I'm slow and I'm mindful, and I have intention behind every little thing that I do during the repetition. That is why my back has got so much bigger despite me reducing the weight. It's not about how heavy you can lift, but it's about how heavy you can make the weight feel. It's as simple as that, and that is how you grow muscle in the gym 101, and that is what 99% of beginners don't know. It's crazy how it works. Like, so many people have it twisted where they think that the more weight they lift, the more muscle they'll grow, but if you can't stimulate the muscle with that weight, then there is no point. But it's about how good your technique is, and then once you've built that foundation of really working on your technique, then you can start to increase the weight, and then you'll see the difference from the weight increase, right? It's all about technique. It's all in the technique, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a mini checklist on the on the screen, which I'd highly recommend you follow, just as a generalized checklist. Obviously, there's exercise pointers for different exercises and specific things, but this is just a generalized checklist which you can apply to every single exercise. That is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Start to follow that checklist on the screen. Drop your fucking ego and focus on technique in the gym. Doesn't matter if your weight is lighter, okay? Doesn't matter. You don't want to be chasing as much progress as you can in the shortest period of time, because true progress is made in the gym when you understand that it's a longevity game. It's all about how long you're able to make progress for over time. And if you're not prioritizing technique and you're going for the weight, then you're probably going to get injured, which is going to put you out the game by 25 or however old you are. It's going to put you out the game way earlier than it could do. You want to be like 60 years old, however, you know, if you're watching this video, you're 18 or you're in your 30s, you want to get to your 60s and you're still able to lift and you're still flexible, right? Super important. So that is basically the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And that checklist that I just presented to you guys was given to the people in my free community well over a week ago, so they got access to it first. And if you want to access things like this, you want closer access to me so I can give you feedback on things, you want a network of over 300 people, then it's going to be in the top link in the description. It's completely free, and this is just a start of all the results and all the wins and all the progress that people have had from the community. Or if you want to take it up a notch and you want to look like these guys and make the transformation and work closer with me and actually learn how to implement the technique properly, I'll leave a link where you can book a one-on-one call with me where we could potentially inquire for some coaching and get your life changed through the gym. And finally, you can stop spinning your wheels and actually make the progress as efficiently and as fast as possible. But that is basically it for this video. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment if you enjoyed. And yeah, see you soon.